famously and very easily made the argument that those were our boys too. They were right-wing extremists that we trained, sometimes on U.S. soil, as a matter of fact. Holy, that is so crazy.
I mean, frankly, it's like, okay, you disagree with his policies, Why is it that the number one line of attack against him on the right is that he's Muslim?
I don't know if that is number one attack, Abby. I mean, I think in our conversation tonight, we've been focused pretty much on the policy.
I mean, you have. I'm not talking about you. Look, you're invited to this table. I'm talking about the people who, as we just showed, that is what they say. He's a Muslim. He's an immigrant. This is what makes him unacceptable.
I'm not going to sit here and condone it, Abby. I think the reality, though, is...
You condemn it?
Yeah, sure. But I think there's performative artists on both sides, in both sides of politics today. And is
Yeah, go ahead. Explain to me what's happening on the other side. What? Calling racist senators racist, for example? Is that what the other side is? You know, it's both sides. Like my side is saying that a Muslim mayor that has openly stated his position as literally the fucking most popular position you can arrive at in American politics at the moment, which is that Israel needs to stop doing a genocide. I'm going to cynically claim that actually is an indication that he is a anti-Semitic, scary anti-Semitic terrorist who wants to fucking kill all Jews and maybe even kill all Americans. Okay? And then if you turn around and say, hey, man, that's kind of racist. What the fuck are you doing? Well, you're smearing me too.
As intolerable as some of the rhetoric is, the reality is that the last 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump were from leftists. Assassination attempt on Brett Kavanaugh was from leftists.
What? Dog. Both were either registered Republicans or former Trump voters. Ryan Ruth, sure, he wasn't. He was a NATO voter for sure. He was just the one singular NATO voter at the time of the assassination. Still a former Trump supporter, okay?
So
the other dude was a registered Republican. Sorry. Sucks that, like, your side is so fucking violent and so belligerent that sometimes they even end up doing violence to you.
The rhetoric on the right, but it seems...
And also, rhetoric on the right, bitch, you fucking bald bitch. Rhetoric on the right, a fucking psychopathic right-wing Christian fascist mercenary literally went to the homes of numerous Democratic Party politicians in the state of Minnesota and assassinated one of the Democratic politicians and her husband, and then tried to assassinate another one and his wife. What do you mean? And he had a list of killing even more Democratic the politicians in the state.
It's like it's always focused on the right and actually not focused on the actions on the left.
2 elected officials in Minnesota were killed. They were Democrats. That wasn't an assassination attempt. They were killed.
They were killed. And
hold on, let me finish.
There's still a question about the motive of the person who did it.
These were 2.
You have a question about the motive of the person who did it? He had a fucking hit list of all Democrats. He was a fucking evangelical sociopath. His fucking roommate literally said he loves Donald Trump. He would get mad if he heard that he wasn't a fucking Donald Trump fan. He had a list of over 50 Democrats, man. What do you mean you need more motive than that? The fact that this is even entertained, the fact that this statement that is so fucking open and shut, like this issue is so open and shut, like the audacity of Republicans to even entertain this insane notion, like the reverse of the events that unfolded not that fucking long ago. Oh my God.
2 Democratic elected officials in Minnesota who were killed. The Tree of Life synagogue shooting, killed. Christchurch, New Zealand, slaughtered. AME Church in South Carolina. On and on and on.
Catholic.
What the fuck? This scared the shit out of me, dude. Where the fuck did this come from? What is this?
Original sin and its disease of hate and racism towards black and brown people and sexism towards women and anti-LGBTQ sentiment. We are not dealing with that. Your colleagues in the Republican Party do not hold each other accountable when it comes to the racism that comes from the party on a consistent basis.
Congressman, I mean, where are you on
You
the,
can't be calm
assassination
about
attempts?
this. I'm a black man in America. The reason why heart disease.
I'm white, I can't comment on
Listen
that.
to what I'm
Is that
saying.
what
The
you're
reason
saying?
why heart disease and cancer
pretty
and
racist to
obesity
suggest I can't
and
comment on it.
diabetes are bigger in the black community is because of the stress we carry from having to deal with being called the N-word directly or indirectly every day. If your colleagues would listen and try to learn and engage and grow and stop being so hateful, we could have a better country.
Jamal.
But unfortunately, we're still here.
The hate's coming from one side.
Jamal, I feel your passion, and I understand where you're coming from, sincerely. I really, really do. It happens on both sides, Jamal. You
Oh my
might
fucking
think it
God.
happens more on your side. Jamal.
I wish dude, this is this hard cut is crazy. Whoever uploaded this video did a crazy thing.
Abner Louima, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, black cops in Memphis. It's not the same. And I don't want to qualify or quantify pain. That's not what I'm talking about. Everyone goes through pain. But the racism in this country is the disease that will destroy us. And it's destroying us right now as we speak.
You're a divided
January
country,
6th,
100%.
everybody was pardoned. Everybody's pardoned. Riots in LA, they're insurrectionists. But we pardoned everyone January 6th.
So, Congressman,
This
I was
is
there
America.
January 6th. I was evacuated January 6th. That was not a racist incident. I don't know why you're making that,
My
that
man was
connection.
walking through the Capitol with a
I was
Confederate
there.
flag.
I was evacuated, Congressman.
What does the Confederate flag represent?
Come on, Congressman.
This hard cut is so funny. Okay, wait, hold on.
Watch the images that come up with black people hanging from trees and white people looking and eating sandwiches. This is America. Are we going to deal with it or not? Why are you in denial?
Stop it. I'm not saying.
Let me let
America's
Mark
the only
respond.
nation that actually fought among itself to free slaves.
So, I mean, but what are you suggesting, Mark? I mean, I think.
What?
Listen.
Wait, what?
You in denial.
Stop it. I'm not saying.
Let me let
America's
Mark
the only
respond.
nation that actually fought among itself to free slaves.
Okay. What does it? That's not answering the question about what does the Confederate flag mean. You should be on his side, getting angry at the fact that there are still people who hold on to this fucking loser ass, insurrectionist, terrorist ass flag for a movement that wanted to purchase black humans and continue the purchase and sale of black people. Yeah. America also, I don't know if you know this, but fought hard to keep slavery going. And that's what the Confederate flag represents.
So, I mean, but what are you suggesting, Mark? I mean, I think, listen, I don't think it's helpful to be in a sort of pain Olympic.
Like, what's really funny about this is that, yeah, a lot of other countries that engaged in the slave trade stopped doing it without a fucking civil war, okay? This doesn't make them more admirable, but it just shows the unique depravity of Americans. Like, hello? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, dude. There are countries that were like, yeah, man, we can't sustain this. Obviously, Haiti is an exception. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Around this stuff, right? However, I think it is both true that there is a lot of racist violence
It's coming
in this
again.
country today, political violence in this country today. The political violence does sometimes target people on the left, sometimes it targets people on the right.
The only reason right-wing extremists aren't responsible for a greater percentage of deaths in the past decade is because of extremists acting irresponsible radical Islamist ideology. We consider only left and right-wing extremists in the past decade. 95% of deaths tracked by the ADL are a function of right-wing extremists. 10 of the deaths that occurred in 2022 occurred at the mass shooting at the grocery store in a black neighborhood of Buffalo. This comports with a recent pattern according to the ADL. By the way, the ADL, oh man, the ADL cooked themselves with this one. Attacks by right-wing extremists were primarily driven by white supremacist attacks against racial and religious minorities. Yeah. Murders connected to political extremism by type: white supremacy and anti-government, other right-wing, Islamist, left-wing, other. Source ADL, by the way. Grain of salt, grain of salt. The overwhelming majority of domestic terror incidents before and after 9/11 have always been at the hands of right-wing anti-government extremists, okay? Like 9/11 is the exception, and it's not even domestic terror, it's foreign terror. Ironically enough, one could very easily, maybe one such as myself has very famously and very easily made the argument that those were our boys too. They were right-wing extremists that we trained, sometimes on U.S. soil, as a matter of fact. You know, that famous fucking statement that I made that everyone is seemingly trying to be like, oh, I'm so offended that this person said this thing that, like, most people would understand if given the additional context.
My point is that it seems like we can constantly focus on the rhetoric on the right when there have been significant actions of assassination attempts against
I mean, I heard you say that, but I think his point was, you're saying that it's about rhetoric on the right. He is saying that there has actually been violence on the right, and you cannot minimize it to just rhetoric when we've seen the violence. That's the point that he's trying to make.
I think we need to hold elected officials and people in public office.
Islamism is literally a right-wing conservative ideology. How do they defend it? It's not even like Islamism. It's a very specific branch of this, okay? It's a specific branch of Salafist, right-wing fundamentalist version of Islam that the overwhelming majority of Muslims do not even fucking abide by, and as a matter of fact are entirely antagonistic to. Especially because they fucking, like, there is not a single Muslim in the region that isn't directly associated with ISIS that likes ISIS. Why the fuck would they like ISIS? ISIS kills them. ISIS kills more Muslims than they do non-Muslims. Not only that, but also ISIS is a valuable ally to Israel. How is ISIS an Israel asset? Just asking why ISIS is valuable to Israel. I don't know. Google ISIS Israel to find out more. ISIS was against the Assad regime in Syria. Okay? I mean, the easiest question is, who's the main target of ISIS? When has ISIS actually attacked Israel? Israel itself has also openly admitted to offer, al-Nusra. Google al-Nusra Israel to find out more. Israel itself has offered medical aid to al-Nusra fighters from Syria. Israel has even personally apologized for fucking accidentally striking ISIS fighters in the past. ISIS members that were struck were then treated in Israeli hospitals. Israel's also offered weapons to ISIS fighters. Yeah, dude, 50,000 fighters are Israel actors. You're right. What do you mean? Why does this upset you so much? Does it offend you that Israel is currently utilizing an ISIS affiliate drug cartel in Gaza right now as the primary force against Hamas? Does that scare you? Like, learning the truth, does that offend your sensibilities? Is that what it is? Because I'm 100% right. So there's got to be something up here that makes you angry and resentful when you hear this. What? They can provide them with weapons, etc., but they're not just Israel. No, they're a proxy of Israeli interest. They're not just Israel pawns. What does pawns mean? What is he trying to say? Pawns? Because they are. What is this? Israeli website claims ISIS commander revealed as Mossad agent. Israel just takes advantage of that Sunni Shia hatred. That's crazy. That's really interesting. What religious sect is Hamas again? It almost feels like there's a fuck ton of Sunni militancy in the region that isn't ISIS, including in occupied Palestinian territory. So I'm a little confused by this. I actually don't know. Hamas and the Palestinian population is Sunni. They're not Shia. Israel just takes advantage of that Sunni Shia hatred is fucking bullshit. They think you're saying every member of ISIS is a Mossad agent? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But ISIS is an Israel proxy in the region. It is not an accident. The things that I just described to you, the factually correct information, I don't blame Sunni Muslims at all, but Sunni from Iraq have been victims that Iran made. That's why they join ISIS. You think the broad majority of ISIS fighters joined ISIS because of Iranian violence? Check it out. Ask them. No, the broad majority. Like the fact that America's invasion of Iraq did not actually contribute to the destabilization of Iraq. You think it was Iran that did this? Iran is the reason. Like, Iran did play a role in Iraq alongside the United States of America, as a matter of fact. Iran was giving strike targets to American intelligence. The one time ISIS attacked Israel, it apologized. Ex-defense minister says ISIS apologized to Israel for a November clash. Moshe Ya'alon's office refused to elaborate after alluding to contact with terror group. Former defense minister Moshe Ya'alon on Saturday said the Islamic State terrorist group in the Syrian Golan Heights apologized for attacking Israeli unit. There was one case recently where Daesh opened fire and apologized, Ya'alon said, using the terror group's Arabic name. This was an apparent reference to a clash that took place near the Syrian border last November, in which IDF troops exchanged fire with members of the Islamic State affiliate. After a brief gun battle, the Israeli military attacked the terrorist group with airstrikes and tank fire, killing 4 of them. Israel and much of the Western world considers the Islamic State affiliate in the Syrian Golan Heights, known as Khalid ibn al-Walid Army, to be a terrorist group. Communication with them is technically illegal under Israeli law, constituting contact with an enemy agent. Ya'alon was speaking at an event in the northern city of Afula. He was interviewed on stage by Eli Levy, a Channel 10 news correspondent. Isn't ISIS a U.S. proxy that Israel also supports? Yes. And because America cannot directly fund ISIS, they fund it through NATO allies in the region. His comment about the Islamic State's apology was made as a part of a broader point about Israel's policy for Syria, which is largely non-interventionist. Such as Turkey, and Israel. Ironically enough, Israel and Turkey. There is a literal former Al-Qaeda commander that is now in charge of Syria. And now that former Al-Qaeda commander, after shaving pieces of his beard a little bit and putting on a suit, is going to be playing a formative role in the second Abraham Accords that's taking place. Does this not strike anyone as odd? Does this not even remotely make anyone interested in the background of how ISIS has worked in the region? What are we talking about? Look at what the Iraqi guy says above. What? The same shit I'm saying. All I'm saying is that you're getting Iranian violence out of ISIS equation. It feels unfair to Sunni Muslim victims and rebels from Iraq. Are you fucking trying to defend ISIS right now? What the fuck is going on? I am Iraqi. The reception of ISIS in Iraqi West was positive at the start because the government was basically terrorizing Sunnis, and the government of Iraq at the time was extremely oppressive to Sunnis, and that directly came from the failure of rebuilding and fear-mongering that happened after 2003. That guy is not saying what you're saying, dumbass. That guy is describing America's fucking destabilization efforts in the region, even though there were prior instances of violence against Sunni populations in Iraq. The major, like ISIS's formation is a direct consequence of America's destabilization in Iraq. What are we doing? Here's direct proof. Saving their sworn enemy. Heart-stopping footage shows Israeli commandos rescuing wounded men from Syrian war zone. But why are they risking their lives for Islamic militants? Elite Israeli troops rescued wounded Syrians from the world's worst war almost every night. They have saved more than 2,000 people since 2013 at a cost of 50 million shekels. Many are enemies of Israel, and some may even be fighters for groups affiliated to Al-Qaeda. Mail Online embedded with Israeli commandos stationed on the border between Israel and Syria. Dramatic video filmed by Mail Online and the Israeli army shows that these operations taking place. Israel says that the operation is purely humanitarian, but analysts believe Israel also has strategic reasons. Like, I can't believe we're taking this like major sidestep here. It's so fucking stupid. Especially as it pertains to Syria. Virtually every group, including warring factions, are all still either directly or indirectly supported by America. Sometimes by way of Israel, in other instances by way of Turkey, and this also, yes, includes ISIS. America, for example, supports the Kurdish militancy in the region. America also is a primary supporter of Turkey, which constantly fights against the Kurdish militancy in the region. Turkey also directly fights against the Kurdish militancy in the region with its own Turkish military. Turkey also funds and offers training to different factions that are also Salafists, maybe not directly ISIS, okay, but also incredibly fucking radical fundamentalists. You know, we talk about like decapitation videos and stuff like that. You know, people that do shit like that, including but not limited to HTS, which is run by Jolani, a former leader of ISIS and Al-Qaeda, who now is the leader of Syria. God damn, dude. Holy shit.